Hi everyone, good evening. Thank you for joining the call. Let us wait for another 2 to 3 minutes and then we will start the webinar. Also, in meanwhile, if you have any queries or any doubt regarding the session, there is a chat window that is appearing on your screen for the webinar. You can always put up your queries and questions. Hey, hi everyone once again, and I hope you all are having a great day. And thank you for joining the webinar today. Today's webinar session is on live resume master class with a resume expert. We have Satyam Khandelwal with us to present the webinar today. He's the career and resume coach at IIMs and IITs. So he's the one who is going to address your queries, gonna present and share his insights and thoughts. So Satyam, handing over the call to you. Please take the session ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Adil. Hi, everybody. Very good evening. I am really excited to host all of you for this session on Resume Masterclass, right? I hope all of you are here with a perspective of learning something new about resumes, which will help you get your first job, right? This session has been co-drafted with Naukri Campus, and we have brought in some really amazing insights for all of you. But before going there, since this is an online session, let me just quickly do a check with you. I want you to tell me in the chat box if you can clearly see me and loudly hear me. Please type loud and clear. Please type loud and clear in the chat box if you can see me clearly and hear me loud enough. Type loud and clear in the chat box. A request to all the attendees to type loud and clear in the chat box. If you can see me and hear me clearly, type loud and clear. Great. Now, when we go through this session, right, this would go on for the next 45 minutes. Okay. Now, when we are going through the session, you might have certain questions in your mind. It's our promise to you that we will address those questions. But till the time we are conducting the session, we would want you to keep your questions noted. Towards the end of the session, we'll take up every question. Okay. So 45 to 50 minutes for the session so that you understand the insight, and then the remaining 10 to 15 minutes for Q&A. We'll be simply following three rules. Rule number one, all of us sit here with 100% focus. I repeat, all of us sit here with 101% focus. Okay? Because time does not matter. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, that's okay, but focus matters. So if you have any other thing on, any other notification on, forget it. Just be here with us for the next 45 minutes. It could be a make or break thing for your career. Okay? Rule number two, everything important has to be noted down. What you note, you will implement. What you do not note, I mean, it will just go away. Sit with a pen and a notepad. That is rule number two. Sit with a pen and a notepad. Rule number two. Okay. Rule number three, keep your questions noted. We will take up all the questions towards the end. Right? Having said that, I'll start with the main content of the session. I just need to know from all of you if you are ready. Please tell me in the chat box if all of you are ready. Type ready in the chat box. Please type ready in the chat box. If all of you are ready, type ready in the chat box. Perfect. I hope like the coordinators can ensure that the chat box is open for the audience. Great. Now I am sharing my screen. Okay, just a confirmation on the visibility of my screen. Can one of the panelists or one of the coordinators confirm if this screen is visible? Is my slide visible?
Yes, Satyam, your screen is visible.
Perfect, great. So this is a live resume masterclass with your resume expert Satyam Khandelwal. A little bit of background about myself. I am a career growth coach. I have been coaching for the last 10 years, last 5 years full time. My major expertise is around resume building as well as interview prep. And I have trained over 10,000 plus professionals in their career change journey, majorly by redefining their resumes, right? Just by this simple tool, revamping this simple tool, you can do big things, you can make big career changes, right? I have already mentored students from IIMs, IITs, and ITs, Symbiosis, other different colleges, premium institutes in India around resume building and interview prep courses. I am a nominated regional mentor of change by Niti Aayog under Atal Innovation Mission, right? You can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram account is Career Growth with Satyam, Career Growth with Satyam, and LinkedIn by the name of Satyam Khandelwal. What will we be doing in this session today, right? When you go out of this session, after let's say an hour from here, you would exactly know what are the best resume writing practices, right? You would exactly know what are the best resume writing practices for freshers. You would understand how you need to highlight your skills and projects to catch recruiters' attention, right? These two things are really, really important. Being a fresher, your skill sets and your projects are the core of your resume. And that is what catches recruiters' attention. And we'll be talking you through it, right? There are certain things that you must have in your resume, and there are a few things that you must avoid. And most of the freshers, by my experience of training, I don't know, more than 10,000 freshers now, there are a lot of things that you should not include in your resume, but I see them in most of the resumes, and that is the reason they get rejected. So we will go through the list of must-haves and must-avoids. I will take you through a step-by-step guidance to create a resume with an amazing tool by Naukri Campus, an amazing, amazing tool, right? Now, there may be other tools in the market, but then who better than Naukri, which already knows what lakhs of recruiters, millions of recruiters actually want to see in your resume, right? And that is why this is an amazing tool that you can use to immediately create your resume, and we will see how. how to tackle gap years and tailoring the resume as per job description. So what happens today is resume has not remained a standard document anymore. You cannot just use one resume and apply for thousands of jobs. You must customize your resume, tailor your resume as per job description, and we will learn how to do that. And then at the end, I will show you some magical resume templates that can help you immediately to get to your next job, maybe your first job, right? Are we all together? Just type with you in the chat box. Type with you in the chat box if you are with me. Type with you in the chat box if you are with me. Perfect. Let us move ahead. Now, there are some critical points to know and to note down before you even start understanding what should come in a resume. The first critical point is you need to customize the resume as per job descriptions. See, resumes are pitch documents. You are pitching your profile to the recruiters. And recruiters are hiring because they have a problem to solve. They need a person who can solve their problems. Where are those problems mentioned? They are mentioned in the job description. So without knowing those problems, you cannot present the solution, right? Your resume is to be presented as a solution. So first you know the problem, read through the job description, and then you customize your resume accordingly. If your resume comes in as a solution to the problems, you are through. If your resume is talking about amazing things, a lot of things, but does not talk about the problem recruiters want to solve, even if you are the even if you have the highest qualification, there are very less chances that you will make it through. Right? That is why there is the first very important point. Point number two, please keep it concise. I said it's a pitch document, right? All pitches are very concise. You would have seen ads, right? Ads of people, ads of products. They're very concise. In lesser words, you explain as many things as possible. In lesser space, you actually present yourself as a solution to the problem. So we only want relevant details. We want the resume to be concise, ideally fitting into one page. Formatting. Now there are people who would use colors, star marks, graphs, charts. Please don't do that. Maintain a consistent formatting and font styles throughout. Proofreading. I see so many amazing professionals, amazing graduates putting in their resume such amazing qualifications, but when we read the resume, there are spelling mistakes, there are grammatical errors. And that is what we do not want. No recruiters would want to see grammatical errors. Please proofread before you actually submit a resume. Okay, I would want all of you to take a screenshot of this slide. It's very, very important. Before you submit the resume, just check whether you have taken care of these four things or not. Type done in the chat box if you have taken this screenshot. Please type done in the chat box if you have taken this screenshot so that I can move ahead. Please type done in the chat box. Perfect. Thank you. Let's move ahead. Let's now understand what are the must-have components in a fresher's resume. What components should be there, must be there, because every recruiter will look for this. Let's see. Number one, your contact information, right? Your full name, your phone number, your professional email. Now you can see what we have not included. We have not included the complete address to your home because no recruiter is interested there. They're interested in your full name, they're interested in your phone number, they're interested in your personal professional email. And if you have a LinkedIn profile, you can put a LinkedIn profile link. That's it. That is the contact information you need to put. Number two, very important, a career objective or summary. Which is what exactly? It's a brief statement about your career goals, your skill sets, and your aspirations. Many people struggle to write career objective or summary, and that is why we have kept a specific slide on how to write career objective. And you would be amazed to see how easy it is to write a high selling career objective, which will appeal to any recruiter. Then you should mention your education. Being a fresher, you would be passing out of a college, your graduation, post-graduation. Write details of the degree. What is your majors, your specialization, your institution, and your duration, the graduation dates. Right? Include relevant coursework, which means your courses that you have done. Write the name of the course. Then comes the important and the critical portions. These are hygiene factors, must be there. Now comes the selling factors. What are selling factors? These skills, the relevant technical and soft skills that align with the desired role. So your skill section should have relevant technical as well as soft skills. What are technical skills? Anything around, programming languages, anything around you knowing how to run a software, a tool, any analytical software, all of those are technical skills. What are soft skills? Communication, interpersonal skills, public speaking, problem solving, soft skills. Both these skills should be mentioned as different sets that align to the job description that you're targeting. Then comes projects and internship. Oh my God, this is the core. This is the core of your resume. If you are a fresher, then you would not have work experience, right? So freshers sell their resumes on the basis of projects and internships that you have done. And there is a way to mention these internships and projects. There are ways to mention what you have done in the internships. You should not just mention your roles and responsibilities. You should mention the value that you have added, the accomplishments that you have done, right? And we will show you exact in terms of examples, and you can learn from that. Then comes achievements and awards. Like so many students ask me, what kind of achievements should I mention? I won a competition when I was in class 8. Should I mention that or not? I played state level football when I was in class 7. Should I mention that or not? I will tell you. We will tell you exactly what achievements and awards to mention and what to avoid. Then comes hobbies and interests. Now this could be a little tricky because this is optional. It's not mandatory, but it can add a personal touch. The key is you mention a hobby if it is relevant to the role. If your hobby is saying something about you that the recruiter might like, then you mention it. Otherwise, you can avoid. These are must-haves component in a fresher's resume. When you submit a resume, just make it a point that you check that all these points are covered. Right? Just type in the chat box, covered the list. Type in the chat box, covered the list. And then we move ahead. Perfect. Let's now understand exactly the opposite. What should not be included in your resume? What should be avoided? What should be avoided? You don't need to write your full address. Nobody's sending you a courier, right? Include only city and state. That is enough. You write Noida, UP, you write Gurgaon, Haryana, you write Pune, Maharashtra, Mumbai, Maharashtra. That's it. That is enough in your contact details. Photograph. It is unnecessary unless specifically required. If the recruiter says, if your college is giving you a template, if the recruiter has set a template which has a photograph, then you submit a photograph. Otherwise, it's not compulsory. Do not unnecessarily take stress over a photograph. Any kind of personal details like whether you're married or not, what is your religion, your social security number, date of birth, not required. Your Aadhaar card, not required. Okay, nobody's interested. Email addresses, now this is required, but you are required to make a professional email ID. Don't write, Satyam rocks the world at the rate gmail.com. Does not give a good impression. Make a professional email ID, make it look as professional as possible, and then use it for all your application purposes. Again, hobbies and interests that sound really casual and generic. I like cooking, I like going to movies, I like partying. Don't mention them, please. Don't mention such hobbies. References, I see so many resumes wasting spaces writing references. You will be asked for references when you get selected, when your resume goes through. Only then you write references. Otherwise, it's not required. Objective, career objective, right? Keep it short, tailored to the job. Don't write essays in objective statements. Objective statements are really crisp. They have to be really crisp, and we'll show you how do you write crisp objective statements. Now, buzzwords, any generic terms which you know everybody would be writing. We have thousands of resumes and we keep thousands of times these words would repeat. I have a lot of patience, I'm really hardworking, I'm really dedicated. Please avoid these words. When you're writing your skill sets, you're writing your experience, please avoid these words. Not required. Was this useful? Type useful in the chat box. Was this useful? Type useful in the chat box and I'll straight away take you to a resume template, how it looks. And we will make a resume live. Type useful in the chat box if this was useful. Perfect. Let's move ahead. This is how a standard ATS friendly resume template would look like, right? And this has been made by using the tool that we'll be discussing today, that will be offering you for free. All of you can use this tool and quickly make your resumes, right? This is how your name looks. See, just the name, then the contact number, email ID. That's it. That's the necessity. Just the name of the city. Then comes education. I've written my graduation. I've written the name of the college, passing out date, my 12th marks, my 10th marks. Enough. Then the crux of the resume, which is internships and projects. I'm writing the internships, right? What did I do? And I'll tell you how to write that. I'm writing about my projects. What did I do? I'll tell you. We'll discuss that. Then skills and achievements, right? Technical skills as well as soft skills, then awards, and then languages I know. That's it. This much is enough for taking you through. It looks short, but short is what sells if there is relevant information there. And this resume is created on the free tool by Naukri Campus. This is an amazing, amazing resume maker. I personally tried it and I checked the compliance. It is exactly what recruiters want. Short, crisp, and relevant. Would you all want to try this out right now? Type yes in the chat box. Type yes in the chat box if you all would want to try this right now. Type yes in the chat box. Great. Let's try this. I want all of you to use your mobile phone, scan this QR code, right? Just scan this QR code and go into the resume maker tool. I'll also go there and we will see how it works. I'll tell you how it works. Just scan the QR code and we will move ahead. I'm giving you 20 seconds to scan the QR code, going into the portal, and I will also share how it looks. Yes. So if you go into the portal scanning this QR code, this is what you will see, right? You will see multiple resume templates, right? These are free resume templates, all really amazing. I am picking up this last resume template and I am clicking on edit. Adil, just a check on the screen. Is my browser also visible with Naukri Campus? Is the Naukri Campus browser visible? Can you
Yes,
just
Satyam,
confirm?
we are able to see you.
Perfect. Thank you. So now I have already put some information, but this is how you do it. So you don't have to design the template. You do not have to, create the template. You just have to use this template. Write your full name, right? I've written my full name here. Then I've written my mobile number as well. I've written my email address. Email address, most of the times it will pick automatically, right? Because I'm logged in. Then I mention my current location, okay, as Gurugram. I mention my date of birth. I mention my gender. That's about it, right? Under education, here is what they'll ask. So if I'm a graduate, I'll start with graduation, the latest one first. I write, right? I pick course name as BTech, okay? Then I pick my specialization from this list as computers. I pick my university as one of the university, whichever university you passed out, you can just write the name. Okay, and it will come up. It will get selected. Let me just show you this. College of Engineering, Pune. Right, it will come up. You write your college name, it will come up. Otherwise, you can add it. Then course duration. So I'm selecting the years 2020 to 2024. Then CGPA out of 10, 8.5, course type full time, and I'm saving this information. Right? The moment I save it, it gets saved in the template as well. Same way I'll do it for my class 12 marks. I'll pick the board name as CBSE, medium as English, percentage, passing year, save. Same I'll do for my 10th marks. That's it. That much for education. It gets automatically saved to this amazing template. You just have to write things here, mention the right things here. Right? Now we will pick up the core stuff that matters the most. Okay? Internship. Now, when we are writing about internships, it's important for you to know how to mention your experience. Okay. So here you would write the company name, you would write the internship duration, month, year, month, year. You will write the project name. Right? Carefully write the project name. Did you develop something? Did you analyze something? Write the name of the project. Then internship experience. How would you write the internship experience? Let's understand that, right? How would we write the internship experience? Now you need to describe your responsibilities and skills learned during internships. So you need to focus on your contribution, scale of work, and outcomes. For example, how you should not write is, I worked with ABC company for 3 months. I worked with social media management for 6 months. No, write like this. Worked with a team of 3 to research market trends, increasing lead generation efficiency by 20%. What is the team size? What did you work on? Market trends, and then increasing something, some impact. Designed and implemented data analysis tool using Python. See, skills are here. What I did was here, reducing processing time by 30%. And that is how you write your projects as well. Developed a machine learning model for predicting stock prices, achieving an accuracy rate of 85%. Assisted the product team to design sustainable water purification system, improving filtration by 25%. Take a screenshot of this. You must write in this framework only. There should be what you worked on, the tool name, and then what did you, like, what value did you add? What did you accomplish? What did you achieve? There has to be some metrics. So many resumes go to the recruiters. They are interested in those resumes that talk about results, outcomes, right? See this, outcomes, scale of work, contributions, the skills that you use, the responsibilities that you took over. This is how you should write. Is this insightful? Type insightful in the comment section. Type insightful in the chat box. Is this insightful? This is the way you would write your internship and projects, right? See this. How I have written my internship experience. Developed and maintained a web application using React for the front end and Node for the back end. Collaborated with the design team to implement responsive UI UX features, enhancing user experience by 20%. Implemented RESTful APIs to streamline data communication between client and server, reducing load times by 30%. Something that you have done, either it is technical or non-technical, does not matter. How did it help the company? How did it help the employer? That is what you need to write. Okay, this is how you would mention your internship experience. You can add the skills that you developed during your internship. For example, I could add coding here, right? I could add React, that I developed these skills. You can add more. It will get automatically added to your resumes. And if you have a project URL, add it here. This is an amazing option. If you have that project sitting somewhere on GitHub or anywhere else, add this and you can save. It automatically gets added to the template. See, skill used, coding React.js. It got added alongside my internship experience. Same goes with projects. See, I've written projects, project name. If I've developed an e-commerce website, I'll write an e-commerce website. If I've managed an event, I'll write managed an event, or managed a celebrity event, or managed a brand launch event, whatever it is. Project duration, I've written December to June, and then description. Again, writing about what I did, skills that I used, and what did I ensure. Ensure smooth and secure transaction, enhancing application security. So I did something. I implemented user authentication with using this tool, JWT, enhancing application security. Again, it will ask, what skills did you learn? Write the skills that you learned. And project URL if it's there, if it's sitting somewhere. That is what you need to do when it comes to internship and projects. Okay, this is what you need to follow. Take a screenshot of this slide, because when you're filling your internships and project experience, try to match it with this framework. Let's see what else we need to write, right? When you're writing your internship and project experience, try and start with these action verbs. What are action verbs? You should not write, I got a chance to work with a team of 3. It does not sound good. You should directly start with action verbs. Worked with a team of 3. Designed and implemented. Developed. Assisted. See here, led, managed, directed, executed, worked, etc. Developed, engineered, optimized. Presented, collaborated, negotiated. Analyzed, evaluated, interpreted. These are examples of action verbs that you should use to start writing internship and projects. They should be at the start of the sentence when you're writing your internships and project examples. Please remember this. Great. Once you're done there in the template with the internship and projects, you will get to a section called key skills. This is very, very important. Why is it important? Because I told you, you need to mention both your technical as well as soft skills. And when you mention the skill sets, it will come. For example, if I try to mention, let's say, for example, PowerPoint, it's here. I'll select it. Let's say I want to mention a soft skill, problem solving. It's here. I'll just select it. So whatever skills you have, whatever skills you want to highlight, looking at the job description, please try and mention all of them. Now, there might be some skill sets in the job description that you do not have. Don't mention them. Learn them first and then mention. Watch YouTube videos, learn for free, and mention the skill sets. Your shortlisting is highly dependent on whether in your resume you have mentioned the skill sets in the skills column and internships and projects column. If you have mentioned the skill sets that are also mentioned in the job description, then is when your chances of getting shortlisted is the highest. That is when you get shortlisted. I hope this is clear to everybody. Please type clear in the chat box. Please type clear in the chat box. Use the chat box. Write clear in the chat box if this is clear to you, if this point is clear to you. Write clear in the chat box. Great. We move next. Okay, we move further. The template gives you an option to write languages. Now, languages are important. Why they are important? Because a lot of times with global companies, they would need to know how many languages you are actually good with. I'm good with 2 languages. I'll just pick add language, select English here, save it. Then I added another language, Hindi, read, write, save it, right? For now, I'm canceling this because English and Hindi I've already selected. Then we move to awards or honor. Now it's very, very important. It's also tricky. Okay, let's see how to tackle that. Awards and achievements, which ones to include, which ones to avoid. If you have academic awards, then mention them. If you have achieved some academic awards, scholarships, or merit certifications, for example, if you have received a scholar award, if you have received the award for highest CGPA, if you are a gold medalist, please mention them. Very important to mention. Then you might have some extracurricular achievements, but then those extracurricular achievements demonstrate your professional abilities like leadership, teamwork, creativity. If you are a part of a club, you managed a big event, you were recognized, you were made secretary of that club, you were made president of that club, write it down. See the example: recognized with the best club president award for exceptional leadership in organizing cultural and academic events. Another category is if you have won a contest during your college, if you have won hackathons, sports fest, cultural fest, but not something that you have done in the as a club activity or inter-class event, don't mention that. If you have done it at an inter-college event or a national level, state level event, mention that. For example, won first place at national level hackathon for developing AI-based financial forecasting solution. Something which is little grand. That is what you mention. That is how you write your awards and achievements. Okay? See, I've just mentioned, you can mention 3, 4, 5, 6, as many as you want. Just put, for setting the example, I mentioned gold medalist in semester 2. You can also write the subject in XYZ subject. It could be any subject, right? Then faculty choice award in BTech, computer science. I can write that. Second position in national hackathon organized at IIT Bombay. So I've written it here. It automatically comes here in the template. Automatically comes here as awards and honors. Then comes academic achievements. Now you could be, as I told you, academic excellence awards, equally important, right? You can write it here, whether you were a gold medalist, whether you were topper, you scored some like highest marks in a quiz, something that you achieved during your BTech B right here, something that you achieved during your class 12 right here. Below that, no need to write, right? See this. It gives you examples. Departmental topper, college topper, top 3 in class, top 10 in class, gold medalist, anything else. Write about that. You can write. You can specify and type. Okay. If I want, I can type 100% score in business mathematics. Say, top score. That's it. It gets added here automatically, right? Alongside my education. That's it. That is how you would write your achievement section. Now, there are some very important things that you should know, right? So we learned about how to mention internship. We learned about how to mention projects. We learned about how to mention our skill sets, right? So we learned internships, we learned projects, we learned action verbs, we learned skill sets, we learned how to mention awards and achievements. Let's see the rules of highlighting the education section. Okay, it already gives you, the template already gives you, it follows the exact rules. So it lists down your degrees, your institution, right? It includes CGP as well, right? So when you look at the template, you are given a chance to write exactly that. Course name, your college name, duration, and then your CGPA, right? It gives you the option to write your CGPA as well, 8.5 out of 10, or whatever is the criterion in college. Just mention that, and that is enough. When you are writing the skill sets, when we wrote the skill sets in the resume, what is the thumb rule? There are some rules that you need to follow, okay? You focus on 5 to 8 skill sets, but prioritize them as per how they are mentioned in the job description, right? Now you can write 15 skill sets and think that you are the best, but they will not shortlist you if your skills do not match what is mentioned in the job description. And that is why prioritizing those skill sets which are mentioned in the job description is very, very important, right? You can mention the list of technical skill sets, right? People ask, sir, I don't have skill sets, I don't know what to mention. Mention tools, mention programming languages like Python, Java, tools like AutoCAD, Photoshop, Power BI, Microsoft Excel. Write the skill sets. Even if you have learned tools, they are counted as skill sets. And then mention soft skills as well. Anything that's related to communications, interpersonal skills, problem solving, negotiation skills, and then language proficiency. And you can see in the template, it gives you exactly the options to write that. Key skills, you can write as many, but the crux is to mention 5 to 8. Those which are mentioned in the resume, they're aligned with the resumes. Languages known, again, the template gives you an option to write. So that way, template is taking care of everything. You just need to put your mind, look at the JD, mention it, mention the right skill sets. Take a screenshot of this slide because it has some examples of how you should mention your technical skills, soft skills, and languages. Take a screenshot and type done in the chat box if you're done. Type done in the chat box if you're done taking the screenshot. Perfect. Now we move to hobbies and interests, right? Now, what is the rule of mentioning a hobby? We told you, simple rule, it's not mandatory. There'll be no negative marking. Recruiter will not be, sad that you did not mention your hobby, but you can mention your hobby in case you think it's worth it. You can mention an interest area if you think it's worth it. What interest areas would be worth it? Look at these examples. If they're highlighting some skill sets that would be really useful for that job, then it's a worth it hobby to mention. It's the best to choose hobbies that relate to the job and show some personal development. If you write, I love watching movies, I love music, I love socializing, partying with friends, it does not say anything about your personal professional development. But if you write something like, I like writing articles on personal development, I love puzzles and strategy games, and I participate in international contests. I am a classical dancer. I have performed Bharatnatyam and Kathak in regional cultural events. I'm an enthusiastic participant on hackathons related to cybersecurity. Some hobby that's related to your personal and professional development. Now you need to be careful that these hobbies should not be repeated. If you have already mentioned this in your internships or awards or achievements, don't write awards in hobbies. Write things that you do in a routine. So don't repeat the same skills, same achievements that you have mentioned in awards and honors, right? Again, take a screenshot, note this down. Hobbies are not mandatory, they are optional, only worth mentioning if they highlight some good skill set. Otherwise, you can do away with them. Now, a very important factor, okay? Most of the time in my sessions, when people ask questions, they ask this. Sir, what is the point of building a resume? For one job, there are so many applicants. And I know there are actually so many applicants for every job in India. You see a job on LinkedIn, you see a job on Naukri, you see a job on, any other portal that comes on college placements. Any portal, there are so many job applications. Now, even if there are 1,000 or 10,000 applications, I want to tell you that you can come among the top 5% of applicants just by following these 4 rules. Because I was also into recruitment and I understood that when people submit their resume, 50% of them do not follow clean and consistent formatting. And if you're using this template by Naukri Campus, this gets taken care of. You're already among top 50% of the applicant for whichever job you're applying, because others will actually submit a very ill-framed resume. If you have all the important heads, there was a slide on must have resume heads. If you have all those resume heads, all those pointers, you are in the top 20%. And let me just show you that again. These are must-have components. I hope you have taken a screenshot. If you have all these components, you are already in top 20%. And again, the resume template that we just discussed, if you have scanned the QR code, if you have noted, if you have saved that URL, if you edit any one of the template, you would cover this point as well. You are among top 20%. If you are using action verbs and quantifiable metrics, remember, worked on this project with Python, which led to 20% increase in efficiency. That is called quantifiable metrics and action verbs. Top 20%, right? This takes you to actually top 10%, not just 20, top 10%. And I'll tell you what are those action verbs. See this. This is the action verb. Use action verbs, use quantifiable metrics. You're already in among top 10%. Now, if you read the JD and you tailor your resume to specific job descriptions, you are among top 5%. Which means if there are 1,000 applications, if you use this resume template properly by Naukri Campus, then you can actually be among top 5% directly, which means 50 applicants. Top 50 applicants, highly likely will be called for an interview. Highly likely. Right? Now, how do you become top 5%? How you come into the top 5%? This is how you come into the top 5%. By tailoring the resume, because this template will take care of all these three. Consistent formatting, must have resume heads because it has all the headings already. Use of action verbs and quantifiable metrics, you have this screenshot already. But then how do you tailor? See the difference between these two. Okay, just see the difference between these two resumes. The first resume is, this is the job description for a marketing intern. They want somebody who can assist them in creating and implementing marketing campaigns. You would apply for a lot of internships jobs. See this carefully, very carefully. Okay. If the job description says this, implementing and marketing campaigns, market research and analyzing trends, social media and managing accounts, design team promotional materials, analyzing campaign performance and prepare reports. And somebody submits a resume which says this: name, objective, seeking an internship to gain experience, bachelor's in business administration, experience, project internship, worked at a retail store, participated in college events, skills, hobbies, reading and traveling. This is how most resumes look. They would not get you shortlisted. What would get you shortlisted? This. An objective that is tailored to job description. Education, highlighting the courses that is tailored to job description. Experience that highlights your skills in Canva and Hootsuite. Highlighting marketing campaign, highlighting marketing research in your resume. Something that you have done around these things. Skills may highlighting digital marketing. Skills may highlighting social media posts, content creation, market research. And projects may be writing a project which is around market research. Now, when the JD says this thing and the resume also says similar things, you are among top 5%. You would be shortlisted. You would be shortlisted. That is how it works. That is how it works. Now, the last concluding thing that we are about to share with you is how to present your career gap. Now, people might have completed their graduation, but then have 2, 3 years, 1 year of career gap due to preparation, exam, government exam, anything, right? And they might feel negative. Okay, we have a career gap, our resume will not get shortlisted. Don't worry. Do not hide your gap. Just present it well. How would you present it well? Mention the skill sets that you have learned. कुछ तो किया होगा गैप के टाइम में. Some courses, some workshop, some learnings from YouTube videos. Mention them. Do some voluntary projects. Some voluntary projects, right? Freelance jobs. Emphasize those responsibilities. Did you travel during your gap? Did you prepare for an exam? What was the exposure? What were the learnings? Mention them. Did you take a career gap because of health reasons? Right? Mention how you recovered properly and how you are ready to start working. Take a screenshot of this slide so that if you have a career gap, you do not have to worry ever again. That was it, guys. That was how we prepared a resume that comes in the top 5% of your applicants, top 5% of your applications, right? So don't worry, even if the applications are 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 when you're searching for internships or jobs on Naukri, even if the applications are higher, don't worry. Prepare your resume with this template, right? Choose a template that you like. Choose any template from this browser, right? From Naukri Campus website. You have the code already. You scan the code, choose any template, start editing it, and write your information in the format that we just discussed. And you will have an amazing resume to submit. I hope this session was useful. There was some value in the session, and I open the round for question and answers now. Over to you, Adil, for any questions that need to be answered.
Yes, hi Satyam, Sagar this side. So yes, there
Hi,
has
sir.
been a couple of questions throughout the session. So I'll just put across
Sure.
those questions. So the first question that the candidate wants to know that if any projects or internships if they have not done, okay, so how to cover
Mhm.
up those things in the resume?
Okay, so two ways. Number one, do some internships and projects, right? Please pursue some internships and projects if you have not pursued because they are the crux of your resume. Let's say you have not pursued and you are applying for an internship and they also want you to mention some projects. Then you mention the projects that you have done in your college. Even something, even organizing an event in your college can be showcased, can be presented as a project, right? Even if you organize a hackathon, even if you took part in managing a club activity, showcase it as a project. But there should be projects that should be mentioned in your resume. If you're applying for a full-time job, please pursue some internships. That will help you big time. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Satyam. Next, also, in meanwhile, while you are answering the questions, can you share the QR code also again with the candidates? Some candidates are not able to
Sure,
capture it.
sure. 100%. So I am bringing up the screen again with the QR code. Okay. Is it visible? Is this visible?
Yes, Satyam, it is visible.
Sagar?
Yes.
Perfect.
Great. I'll put up the next question. Next question is, while applying for a job, right? A lot of candidates, when they prepare resume, they have to compete sometimes with the experienced candidates also. So how to make a
Yes.
fresher candidates, equivalent to the experienced candidates?
Very interesting question. So what happens is you'll have to see that as a fresher as well, you have some advantage points in front of the recruiters because when I recruited, freshers can be hired quickly. So an experienced candidate will have 2 months, 3 months, 4 months of notice period, but a fresher does not have a notice period. He or she can join immediately. So you have an advantage there. Plus, recruiters can negotiate better with you. They know that you would come at a salary which would be lesser than an experienced candidate. So you have a great chance. That is the first thing you should know. Now, how would you compete with an experienced candidate? Recruiters are not necessarily looking for 1 year, 2 year, or 3 years of experience. Why they consider experienced candidates? Because they know that they are easily deployable. Immediately आके काम करना चालू कर सकते हैं because they are in the industry, they are working for a company. Now, if you can prove to the recruiter through your resume that you also know how to work, you also have the required skill sets, you also are deployable, then you have a great chance in front of the experienced person because maybe you stand a better chance. How you would showcase that? Mention as many internships and projects in your resume. How you would mention them? Mention what you have worked, what skills you have learned, and what you have accomplished. The way you write about projects and internships, recruiters will feel, okay, you're already deployable. You're working in your projects the way it needs to be worked in corporates. That is how you compete with experienced people by increasing your projects and internship experience.
Thank you, Satyam. Next question is regarding the percentage improvement. So during the internship, they're giving the percentage of the improvement, right? So if like the candidates wants to understand how to give the percentage, if if they have to give a self rating for that one, or do they need to ask from
Yeah,
their trainer?
right, right. So two ways. There could be projects where quantifiable metrics is possible. This percentage is possible. For example, whatever you did, right? If you talk to your project mentor, it would have served some purpose. There are projects where you which are not directly related with revenue increase or cost decrease or efficiency increase. So I understand वहाँ पे percentage mention करना could be tough, but you can ask your project mentor or whoever you work with, how did I help? Suppose you build a document which, if you were not there, would have been built by two people working for, let's say, 10 days. So you actually saved 2 man days. You can mention that, right? Increasing the efficiency of the team by those many hours. So there are always ways to put in quantifiable metrics. There was a project where a student actually mentioned that I have worked with my faculty mentor to prepare a report, right? To prepare a research report. How would I mention quantifiable metrics? That research report was actually given 9 out of 10 marks by average 9 out of 10 marks by the Viva panel. Mention that. There is some quantifiable metrics always possible. Just think and you will find one. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Satyam. Satyam, another question is that regarding the length of the resume, like how lengthy it should be, and what is the minimum page, how they can, arrange all the data in, short pages.
Sure, sure. So, I mean, arrangement of the data is already solved by the free resume tool by Naukri Campus. You don't need to make a template, just enter the details here and it very beautifully crafts a resume in one page, which is the standard size of a resume for freshers. If you are a fresher, your resume should not go beyond one page. Even if you have 2, 3, 4 years of experience, max 1.5 page. Still, I've seen so many resumes of experienced people, 3 to 4 years of experience within one page. And it works really well because relevant things are highlighted. So do not make a template. Use this template, enter your information, and then edit it. So it already crafts the resume, all the required information in one page only. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you, Satyam. Another question is that
Sure.
how to tailor a resume as per the JD if they have the JD with them.
I mean, read through the JD. I just showed you an example, right? JD has some skill sets and some work requirements listed. There could be skill sets around marketing. There should be some tools that are mentioned. There could be some responsibilities that are mentioned. Try and show the same skills and tools in your skill section of the resume. And in your internship and project section, try to mention the same kind of experience that you have worked with designers, that you have worked with developers, that you have worked with, in teams in your past internships and projects. When you read the JD, try and follow as many skills and experience phrases from the JD to the resume. Now, do not blindly follow. If you do not have a skill, don't mention. Do not lie in your resume. But I would suggest learn that skill set and mention it so that your chances increase.
Satyam, there's
Yes,
one more
Sagar, I think
question where it
I got
is mentioned that does cover letter are necessary for the resumes?
So the answer to this question is no and yes. No when it is not asked for. When you are asked to submit your resumes, let's say on an internship or a job on Naukri, then you do not need to put in cover letter. But if the company asks that you need to upload a cover letter as well, then you need to put in the cover letter. Only when asked. Otherwise, no.
Yes. Satyam, next question is how to write a career objective, like to keep it simple or how many lines there should be.
Sure. So it should be 2 lines at max, which says, what are you? For example, you could be an enthusiastic coder, you could be an enthusiastic digital marketer, is skilled in XYZ. So what are your skill sets? Just write that. And then write experience in projects like ABC. So your profile, your skill sets, your project experience, and then aspiring to get a challenging role in an organization, in a company. If you have preference for a specific industry, write that industry. So your profile, your skills, your expertise, and then your career aspiration. That's it. 2 lines enough.
Great. Satyam, one more question is there. How to stand out if the colleges, so basically a lot of colleges follow standard format of, template of their resumes. So if everyone is
Right.
applying at the same time, how to stand out in that?
How to stand out in the standard format given by the college. So even if the
Yes,
college is giving you a standard template, yeah, even if the college is giving you a standard template, not everybody. You have attended this session by Naukri Campus, so you know how to write a career objective. You know how to write the skills. You know how to write your internship and project experience. Not everybody would use quantifiable metrics. Not everybody would use, action verbs to start with your internships. Everybody would write, simple words without mentioning numbers. You follow this, your resume would automatically stand out.
yes. Satyam, more or less, the questions are on the same area only. Do you
Sure.
can just give some more 1 or 2 minute time to put up any questions?
I mean, we can take one last question if that's fine, and then we can conclude. If you find anything relevant, we can take that up.
Definitely. I'll just going through the questions. Just give me a second.
Sure. Till the time people in the audience can comment in the chat box their one word about how they feel after the session. Was it useful? Was it helpful? Just put it in the chat
Well,
box.
well, Satyam, I was going through the comments. I can tell for sure lot of candidates have loved the session. Okay, it was very insightful for them, and a lot of candidates have mentioned the same thing.
Happy to know that. Happy to know that.
Well, I think other questions are revolving question only. So I think we can close the session, Satyam.
Sure.
And also the attendees. So any other question that we will be able to pull up from the details later on, we will be answering them separately.
Perfect. Great then. This was a great experience addressing you all. I hope I was able to extend some value. Thank you, Naukri Campus team, for this amazing opportunity and for doing such impactful things for freshers. I mean, they need it the most. All the best to you all for your career journeys. Make a great resume. Use these templates. You will stand out. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Satyam. Thank you for conducting the session. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening ahead. Good night.